Hey everyone, welcome to a very special episode of the Adam and Chris Show. I'm St. Adam.
I'm Chris Malice.
And again, we got the Star Wars people here with a few more. So, let's introduce everyone.
I'm Corkscrew Tunic.
You know my wife, Sarah Baca.
I'm Zealot Wolf. Mike Mann, the elf.
And
I'm the only one with a normal name.
Chris Malice is a normal name. I was born with that name.
no, you were born with malice, that's for sure. But last time we did predictions for Rise of Skywalker. Now that we have all seen Rise of Skywalker, let's talk about it.
Okay.
All right, straight from the top, yes or no question. Did you like it?
Absolutely.
Wasn't bad.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, Birds of Prey was better.
Thank you for that.
He said yes or no.
Yeah, it's okay.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it.
It wasn't bad.
Okay, so we got a very,
Mixed?
I wouldn't even say mixed because most people said, everyone said it wasn't bad, so nobody said it was horrible.
Yeah, but
I mean, that's a low
what
bar.
about the part that was bad?
Which one?
Well, okay, let's talk
That's why
about
I said I knew this guy had some
What?
opinions.
That's why he's on the end.
Let's talk about, we'll do the good, the bad, and then the ugly. So, the good.
Well, it wasn't The Last Jedi, so I was very thankful of that.
Okay. That's going to get old
Chewie.
quick.
That's really good.
We got to see Chewie, apparently.
It did wrap everything up. I'm not going to say in a perfect bow, but it did wrap it up. And let's face it, the last third of that movie was pure fan service.
Palpatine. Palpatine, baby.
Just the last half of the movie was the only part that I really enjoyed, but it had its ups and downs.
My favorite part was the part where you hear Darth Vader. But, I mean, I did enjoy it, and it did wrap everything up in sense of the old characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
New characters, I mean, they could keep going.
They could.
They could.
Yeah.
I gotta agree with Chris. I really liked Palpatine coming back. That was fun. And I really liked Kylo's redemption arc. That was probably my favorite part of the movie.
And we will address that.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. Name something bad about the movie.
Kylo's redemption arc.
I can't do it. For me, since I have a personal attachment to Chewie, him getting taken away, it scared me, made me sad.
I predicted she cried.
It was
during that.
nice.
I almost cried with Chewie. Almost. I thought he died.
It was nice him getting the medal.
Yeah, he
From-
finally got his
Yes.
medal.
Yeah.
Why didn't he get one in A New Hope?
Because
Racist.
Leia's
He's not
racist.
human.
Wow.
Don't quote me on that. Don't haunt me, Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, she's got 4
But,
stars.
I mean, also when Chewie had his breakdown when he found out Leia died,
Yeah.
I could see Sarah like,
Oh, yeah.
It's
I'm
sad.
not crying.
Oh,
Just, I
I'll
mean,
do it.
all he does is roar, but you can hear the emotion.
You,
Yeah.
you
And
knew exactly
it's-
what he was saying.
It's so sad, man, to hear. It's almost like hearing a puppy dog whine.
It is.
It's really sad. She's going to start crying.
Oh,
Nope,
she's
I'm
probably
good.
not gonna like
No,
that.
Shut up.
Okay, let's see. Something bad about it. I thought that first third was just so rushed. Like, so much of that movie was cut out. I want to see a director's cut because there was weird edits, weird.
There's really weird edits.
They kind of.
Can you describe a weird edit for me in there?
Okay.
Seriously,
I will.
No,
Just let me understand.
Either one of you is fine.
Okay,
Okay.
so like when Poe goes back and he talks to Kerry Russell's character, the woman in purple with the mask that looks like the
Zori?
lost. Yeah, she looks like the lost member of Daft Punk. She's sitting there talking about how she wants to get enough money to just move out of there. I can tell that scene was cut up because like a minute later she's all about fighting in the rebellion. I'm like, where'd this come from?
Well,
there was no transition.
I'll tell you where I saw the rough edit when they were talking about when C3PO after he lost his memories, and they're like talking about getting him back, that he had to do something or whatever. And he's like, I'm not going to do that. Within a second, you see like someone like walking up, like maybe knocking him out, and the next thing he's got these things, hooked up to the back of his head to
Well, they shut
bring his
him
memory.
down.
It was just like we got there in like a span of 2 seconds. There was something hugely cut there,
Right.
And you can tell because when you're editing, you're trying to connect you're taking out one part and trying to connect another part to another part and make it actually feel complete.
It makes sense.
Yeah. That cut was like, they left something there.
Well, okay, Kane.
What, that part?
No, what? Name something bad. We'll get to the ugly, okay? Just
Well,
we'll get to
to
the
the
ugly.
bad.
No, you say that for the ugly because I know how passionate you are about that. Go,
The Kylo Ray thing that was
Raylo.
just fucking stupid.
Yep.
Especially the ending.
You know what's
Because,
funny?
goddamn.
Because I saw it in theater with Elf, okay? So he leans over, he's like, he better not bring her back to life with a kiss. I'm like, they wouldn't go that Disney with it.
Oh, they did.
How wrong you were.
Well, no, he brought her back, then kissed her. So it's not quite that Disney.
That's
It's still his fucking cousin, because if Palpatine is Rey's grandfather, and Palpatine, according to the comics, is responsible for Anakin, but like you said, Star Wars doesn't have a problem with a little space incest.
Gotta keep the midichlorians in the family.
I guess
There's a little too many Metachlorians and some... Okay,
good.
Mike?
Man, why you gotta ask me something about that?
Because it's not the
The-
original trilogy, so it's not going to be perfect.
The idea that Rey is a Palpatine is, to me, they could have gone another way. But I just, to me, it just doesn't make sense. Because I've got Darth Plagueis, the Darth Plagueis book in my head, and not once do they have any shot of him getting any from anywhere else.
Well, come on, I'm sure
And just think, Rey's 20, right?
Yeah.
ish, I guess.
It doesn't make sense.
How old is Palpatine?
It's like
1,000.
100 and something. But
Well,
it doesn't make sense.
you give him some space Viagra, he can keep going and going and going.
Well, I mean,
So he got busy.
oh yeah.
Or he engineered a son.
So it's
Well, no,
got to
I
be at least 40 years
Look,
earlier,
look,
right?
He was an emperor, right? So he had some concubines because nobody was willingly going to do that with that melted candle.
Hey man.
And another thing they've done, like when Palpatine was turned into the ugly man you see in prequels.
Mm-hmm.
But you see him in this movie, you see him in the old Star Wars movies, his face isn't all lined like that.
Maybe it's because he had time to kind of heal
Melt.
a little or melt. But it's
But-
funny that you say about the Palpatine, because again, when we were watching it, Chris leans over to me. He's like, "I swear, if they say she's a Palpatine, I'm walking out." And they did. So he got up and he left for 5 minutes. I'm like, he's in front of the theater screaming.
That
right
I
now.
didn't like, and the whole Rey and Kylo kiss. I'm glad he died after that.
I'm sure he is.
I'm not trying to be mean about it, but I'm glad he died because now they can't live happily ever after.
Yeah.
You know,
with a bunch
fine.
of 6
He's
finger
been
kids.
redeemed. Great, move along.
You mean flipper finger?
If he would have lived, I would have had more bad things to say. But you know, I'd never liked the idea of the Raylo thing. You see all these pictures on Instagram and shit of them making out. It's just like, stop it. It's too easy. It's too easy to do.
What?
So they did
Why do they have to have a love interest? That like
Exactly. It's not a romantic comedy, for Christ's sake.
yeah.
Right.
He's
It's
a
a
villain.
space movie with wizards and lightsabers.
He's the villain. He's bad. They blew up a planet.
Many times.
5 planets.
Yeah.
they blew up a lot of fucking
Anakin was the villain too, and he's still got a love story.
Well,
He kind of ruined that love story.
Yeah.
But and the love story
Well,
is kind of what made him turn into Darth Vader.
Yeah. With Kylo.
And nobody lived happily ever after in that.
So here's my thing with like the Kylo redemption angle
Hardly
that I'm gonna
anybody
bring
lived.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of one person who did. Well, maybe the twins.
What?
No, they still died
What'd you
after
say?
a while, but
Well-
he's talking about what we were talking about just a moment ago. Everyone dying. From
Oh,
the
yeah.
love story.
Okay.
Yeah,
Chris,
they died eventually.
a bad.
The lack of story, the lack of actual coherent, good story. That movie they pulled an endgame with that movie. They gave us a lot of like nifty tidbits that could have pulled a good story together, but then they just slapped fan service at the end without really tying anything up. In my opinion, at least.
I feel it should have been a part 1, part 2.
It could have been, but yet again, that goes even farther in
Rise of
pulling an
Skywalker
endgame.
and re-rise of
See,
Skywalker.
That's the thing.
The Skywalker
Why-
rises again.
Why at the beginning of this whole acquisition, when they were talking about we're bringing Star Wars back, why did they get 3 different writers?
Yeah.
Why don't they make
Yeah.
it all the same guy? And that
You
one
know-
guy can make it more coherent, make it make more sense.
Probably.
have
So
no idea.
I have a theory.
You take The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, and they're 2 totally different movies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, it's crazy. And then,
Yeah, there wasn't like someone overseeing everything, going, "This is where we begin, and this is where we're going to end."
they needed Pablo Hidalgo sitting with them when they were writing that shit. They need to make it all
I
coherent.
think here's my
And then
thing.
this guy would be happy.
I hear a lot of stories
Nah,
about
he'd
like
never be happy.
so when like directors have started working for Marvel or Disney to work on the big name properties, there's a lot of studio interference. They
Well-
come in and they go like day yay nay or whatever, and yes, it's now their intellectual property, so they have the right to protect it. But you know, at one point, people care more about can I get a cohesive story with actual stakes. They think about that before they think about will this be a cool action figure. Like the whole my issue with like the Kylo Ren face turn, as I call it.
We'll get to that. 'cause
Okay,
we're
okay.
gonna do the ugly now.
But they left him alone for the all the Marvel stuff though.
Because Kevin Feige, their producer.
well, John Favreau, I think,
yeah.
had a hand in like saying.
Well, why
this
didn't
where-
somebody step in with him then?
with
With Feige.
Well,
if you remember, Marvel started that Phase 1 before Disney bought them.
yeah.
Because I think by the time the
I didn't
first
know that.
Avengers came out is when that might have been going
So
on.
after the first Iron Man, then Disney got it.
Yeah,
let's see, Disney bought them in what, 2012, 2013?
I think so.
Somewhere
Yeah,
around there?
yeah.
Wow, they bought Marvel,
Yeah.
and then shortly after they bought Lucasfilm.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like it's somewhere within that time frame.
And that
They own
Lucas,
all of us, and
they also with them
They
owning
combined it, that's
Lucasfilm,
okay.
that means they also own the Lucas games, which is
Yeah.
really sad because there's a
Yeah.
lot of really smart stuff that came out of that game studio.
Following actually, or past that, supposedly they're working on a new KOTOR, if you're familiar with KOTOR.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Yeah, Knights of the Republic. They're combining the 2 games together for one to give it a new story to actually make it fit into canon. So
That sounds really good.
It sounds
Here's the
good.
thing.
Oh.
I think when they announced
Bring
new
me some
Star
Darth
Wars,
Malgus.
I think when they announced new Star Wars movies, everyone's like, "I'm excited," and then we got what we wanted, and everyone's kind of like, it's not horrible."
The fandom is hard to please. It's impossible to please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But speaking of impossible to please, let's go with the ugly. Eric?
All right, it's got to
That didn't
be
sound right,
the
but-
final fight scene between Rey, Palpatine. I feel Palpatine died like a little bitch. Kylo literally just got pushed off and did absolutely nothing to help with that fight. Spent his
Palpatine
entire
basically died
time
of his own hand.
climbing a cliff just to get killed by a kiss. And
He didn't get killed by a kiss.
pretty much,
No,
he
he
climbed
used his inner,
yeah.
whatever you call it, his inner
To bring Rey
midichlorians.
back.
Right.
But
And that killed him. Like,
it was
Sounds
stupid.
like he was.
So Rey's a Black Widow.
Yeah.
Sounds like he was kissed by a rose from the.
I was
grave.
just thinking that.
you started to say that and I was singing it in my head.
I
Hey, that's gonna
expected
be
so
stuck
much,
in your head.
Thank
so
you.
much more from that final fight scene. You know, the Emperor
I think a
versus
lot was
Rey.
cut out.
It was, you know, all of the Sith, all of the Jedi.
Supposedly, there was a scene that got cut where Luke appears as a Force ghost to Kylo during that, and reminding Kylo the Jedi mantra and everything to make Kylo.
Why was that in the movie?
I don't know. That's why I said I want to see a director's cut.
See, if they put out the director's cut in the movie theater, nobody would give a shit. Everybody would go and sit there for 3.5 hours and watch.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Palpatine, you know, wield a lightsaber and battle with Rey.
that actor's never going to do a lightsaber fight again.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was hard
why-
for him in Revenge of the
Right.
Sith.
Why,
But-
when he was kind of reborn,
Yeah, he had youthful energy.
Yeah, he was.
He was in
He
his
wasn't
prime again.
decrepit anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could have. He could have.
He was.
He was slightly
Pumping out
less
massive
melted.
amounts of energy, shooting lightning up in the sky and all that, and then gets taken out the same way he
Well-
got taken out before.
well-
His own lightning.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
he got thrown over that thing.
Yeah,
the-
but
see,
still,
he knows
his
the
own
Force.
lightning.
well, that
you didn't learn
brings
your
up
lesson the first time.
that brings up the question: is Palpatine dead? Because if he can survive the Death Star exploding,
He's gone.
oh, he
Absolutely.
survived the Death Star exploding.
He's got to be gone.
The
It's
power of the
last
Sith
thing.
Magic always
exploded.
finds a way.
No. See, we've only seen his clones so far. I mean, Snoke was a clone, so obviously there's Palpatine clones. The
I
real
think
one's
that was
still
the
out there.
original, though.
No, real one's still out
Wouldn't
there.
that
I
be
won't believe
fucked up if
otherwise.
Rey's dad was a younger Palpatine clone? So Rey herself is kind of a female Palpatine clone.
I could see that. You know,
Yeah.
that would
That
be
would
a bad
be
storyline.
But yeah, that was like my expectation. I wanted to see more actual physical combat, and I feel like that fight scene was kind of bland.
It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, very bland
Well,
for a
when-
finishing fight scene. It was
But
very,
when she
you know,
walked in there,
a lot of space combat and stuff, but even that was kind of choppy. here and
when
there.
she walked into Palpatine's lair, though, I felt that they presented him as like an absolute monster.
Yeah.
It was something out of Hellraiser.
Yeah, it looked like something you would see in Hellraiser. I was like, okay, that's how he should always be presented. There should never be a point where I'm thinking if I should be afraid of him or not.
You sure
And
that's
at that
good for
point,
you?
like, she already said, I'm not going to do what you want. You're going to have to kill me. He was going all out on her.
And then she
like,
said,
should
"Okay,
have
I'll do
been
what you want."
obliterated at that point. It just didn't make sense. That was the ugly for me.
Sarah, what was ugly for you?
I'd probably have to go with the kiss. I didn't mind the movie overall as a whole, but
Chewbacca crying.
well, it was sad. But I'm not gonna say like that was my ugly.
You know, you were this close to ugly crying in the theater.
I was not that close to ugly crying. Yes, it was sad, but have I ever ugly cried in a theater?
I don't know. I wasn't with you for every movie you've
No.
seen.
While I've been with you, have I ever ugly cried in a theater?
What was it we saw where it might have been in-game. When Natasha died or whatever, you were just kind of like...
Yeah, it's literally like a tear, and then
no,
that's it.
No, he turned away from me so I couldn't see it.
There's probably a lot of dudes crying because all that ass is gone.
Okay.
Oh, she's coming back though.
Oh yeah.
For me, the ugly... I'm going to have to say how they confused explaining stuff with character development.
Yeah.
Because we got so many new characters and they just explained them and then moved on. Like, I could have done without Rey doing the Indiana Jones dagger puzzle to hear more on like those stormtroopers that left.
Yeah,
hear
that's
those stories.
That was. Yeah, I agree with you.
And they explain so much in this film, but the one thing they don't explain that they should have
Yeah.
is how Palpatine survived. The one thing that we need an explanation for, we didn't get it.
Well, what about
Whatever.
even the Knights of Ren?
I forgot about them.
Yeah.
That's how much of an impact they made.
Yeah.
I forgot all about them. They
Exactly.
played a bigger part in the comic book.
They did, which actually where we got the real name of their squad. It's like the Knights of Revan 3 or something like that.
Revan?
Revan,
Oh,
yeah,
Revan.
they dropped Revan with that.
Yeah, my boy.
Okay, so there's my ugly. Chris, go ugly.
Oh,
I
good.
know what you're
We're-
going to
Oh,
say.
man.
Okay, so
But we got to be out of here by 2.
So where do I start?
Well, how about the one thing you ranted about when you called me after seeing it?
what was it? The Kylo face turn.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Kylo Ren's face turn. Him becoming more heroic. My view is the thing with Vader. What gave him the angle where he started to redeem himself is he was basically being put in a position to kill his kid. And he said, "I won't cross that line." Kylo already crossed that line by killing his dad. So
And
why,
attempting to kill his mom.
Yeah, and so why all of a sudden is he going, woo, to me, I think the face turn was like, oh, we got Kylo Ren action figures. We don't want to go too far with him. We can't make him a definite bad guy. So the other thing is there's no stakes. The two big things that happened in this movie, they later reverted back to C-3PO losing his memory and then Chewbacca not dying. Both those things, I hate to say it. If you want to
What
pass
about
that
Rey
torch,
going dark? It was
that-
right there.
yeah,
it was
right there. That
When-
could have been the whole movie.
Was that a vision by her?
Well, yeah,
Yeah, it was
but
in the dark
she
chamber.
was getting ready to accept
Oh.
Palpatine's
Kinda like-
conditions until Kylo showed up.
Kind of like Luke in the tree? Or in the
Yeah.
forest?
Yeah.
It was in the Sith.
Those are when I was sold on. I had a coworker who I was talking to about the new Star Wars movies to me. He said he actually kind of liked them. He said it's the passing of the torch.
Yeah.
If you can't get the old guard to get out of the way for the new guard to take over, they're not going to be able to carry films and stuff. So,
but you got to do it in a smooth transition.
Yeah,
and I kind of felt with how Disney did it is, these characters you like them? Well, here's ones you're going to like better, and we're going to pull these away and shove these in your face.
But that's the transition, though.
Right, but there's a smoother transition to do, though. Like, you saw how Luke transitioned into being the Jedi. In Return of the Jedi, he was the last Jedi left. But that's after we got the passing of the torch from Obi-Wan to Luke. That was the beginning of Luke's journey. And then Yoda with Luke. And Yoda helped. And Luke had to be humbled to realize that he wasn't ready yet.
So we had Han die. We had Princess Leia die.
We had Luke die.
We had Luke die. Those are all very, very significant.
We had R2-D2 just pushed aside for BB-8.
But like when it came to there was no real stakes when it came to C-3PO and Chewbacca. I hate to say it, you're gonna get mad when I say this. Chewbacca should have stayed dead. They should have. They should have killed him off. They should have killed him off. They should have. And they should have kept C-3PO getting his memories back. Because I mean that moment you start to actually have an emotional turn, and then they're like, guess what? We're going to change that later. I was just like,
because they can bring it all. They can continue.
Yeah. Well,
it would have been a major character development for Rey.
Yeah. Well, to me, the C-3PO losing his memory, to me, was the best part of comedy in that film. Mm-hmm. One of the other problems I had is they seemed like they wanted to go like Guardians of the Galaxy. They put a lot of banter back and forth in with Poe, Rey, Finn, and all this stuff. And I'm like, really? C-3PO worked for me? Because, like, they talk about Babu, and he's like, oh, he's my oldest friend.
Yeah,
there's so much more comedy I wanted them to do with that, because that got legitimate laughs out of me. Not the, and you remember this part, they fly now?
Fly now?
Yeah.
Everybody said it.
No, we kept it going.
Yes,
like, after they got done, after 3 characters said on screen, I'm like, they fly now, it goes to Chris. They fly now, it goes to Sean. They fly now. We just kept it
Do
going.
you really want to be a dead horse if the joke is not funny to begin with?
What?
They fly now.
No, we kept it going
know,
because
not
it
you
was
guys,
a stupid joke.
them.
And
that
plus,
was horrible.
They had a few drinks in them. I was running on no sleep, so none of us had any fucks to give. So I'm sure we were pissing off the people in front of us.
What was my other complaint?
The spy?
I think what's his name said it first. They fly now. I think Finn said it first.
Yeah.
No, it's C-3PO. They fly now because of Finn. They fly now. Poe, they fly now.
Well, also, as you brought up the spy, you could have introduced a new character that wasn't going to get
shot. We all knew
like,
who that spy was. Like, it's kind of like, really? Because we all saw it coming a mile away.
I'm oblivious, though.
We're sitting there going, gee, I wonder who it can be.
Yeah, and I was glad he died because, Rat.
I'm pretty sure he was glad. The actor was glad he died.
But it's funny because, again, we did the joke where, he reveals to be the spy. Finn and Poe are like, what? And they're like, what? What? They're going down the line. It gets to me. I'm holding a bottle of water. I take a drink. And I'm like, what? So we were being obnoxious in the theater.
Yeah, we were.
What was the ugly dude, Cam?
The fandom.
There you go.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with what he said.
Okay.
But the kiss, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
Back.
That's so Disney.
It is. It's just... I'm just.
You notice how Rose had like
died.
15 minutes of screen time total?
15? You're giving her that much?
I'm giving her that. I'm not counting lines.
You're
just
generous.
whenever she's in frame.
You're generous.
So
She had like 7 or 8 minutes, if that.
Well, you got the background stuff too.
Yeah, it's.
Hey, here's my
I
thing.
mean, I don't know if that was that actress's choice.
Well, you heard about all
After
the crap.
whole
Well, I know.
controversy and-
Yeah, I mean, all the shit she went through with
The
the Last
fandom are
Jedi.
assholes.
Yeah.
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 Threatening her life and stuff, and then she's like, "Oh, I don't want to be in this big movie that much."
Yeah, I mean, if I'm thinking that, I hope it was more her choice than the studio's choice.
Well, either or.
It was probably the studio's choice.
Probably.
Yeah.
But
They,
there
they
was not
don't
that
want any
character
backlash.
They were going to get it.
The fandom,
They
the
were
fandom
always
is going to
ours.
find something else. Oh, okay, Rose isn't in it. What else can we fucking cry about? Because we're a bunch of whiny bitches.
From
I
the
didn't think
monkey
she
on
was
Twitter.
bad, but
That's
I
right.
didn't see the point of her being
Fucking
in the
thumb
movies.
warriors.
Well, if you look at The Last Jedi, most of the characters weren't even necessary.
Yeah.
Poe added nothing. Laura Dern's character really didn't add much.
No, she
Benicio
didn't.
del Toro's character added
Well,
fucking
I thought
nothing
he
to
was
that.
cool.
I
But he
think
didn't
Poe
add
added
shit.
a little bit to that, just because it did add to his character development.
Okay, but-
because he did get promoted.
but let's look at
and
it.
he stepped up to be more of a general.
No, but let's
since-
look at it. Poe had to be humbled in Last Jedi, right?
Right, he had to
but then
get a kick in the ass.
He's no longer humble in Rise of Skywalker. So everything, I mean,
Back to
really,
being a dirty
Rise of
spice runner.
Skywalker basically undid a lot of Last Jedi, for good or bad. But I mean, like that character development with Poe, right out the window.
Right.
What about Finn? He was completely pointless in the
Yeah,
movie.
I agree.
Oh,
that was one of my
jeez.
first talking points.
And that's
I even
he's
wrote down.
the original the first two movies. He was like one of my favorite characters
Yeah.
in the first two movies.
He had the same story in all three movies.
Yeah.
Like
He had a story in the third one?
Exactly.
He was just
not really.
he was
Yeah.
just there to ask.
The third one
It was the black
I have
guy,
something to
right?
tell you, but I can't tell
That's
you.
all he did.
Lando was in that film.
You know what that was, don't you? His whole thing, I have something to tell you, is he wanted to say he was force sensitive.
Yeah.
You see it throughout different points of the movie. I liked that. I just wanted to point that out for the people that didn't.
Yeah,
catch
it was
that.
kind of obvious throughout the entire time where I have a feeling we should go this way.
You know,
I have a feeling that's the ship
it's
we need
funny
to
because at
attack.
the end where he's like, oh, it's this way. I have a feeling, and right when he said that in my head, I'm thinking of that song. And I can't fight this feeling anymore.
Oh, we gotta find some way to edit some of this stuff in like Star Wars stuff. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, we're making Star Wars music videos. We already got "Kiss from a Rose," and now "Can't Fight This Feeling."
Oh, Kiss from a Rose is gonna be great.
All right, Chris.
The ugly.
The ugly, there was a lot of things
Did you
I
just
would
call
define
him
as
ugly?
ugly in that movie, but
No.
I'm going to go with two in particular that really bother me. First off, two lightsabers do not make you stronger. You do not have
Yeah, Anakin found out the hard way in Attack of the Clones.
that bothered
If you know
me.
how to use them,
so bad.
alright.
But the other thing that really bothered me, the scene where Palpatine shoots the lightning in the sky. If you notice, every single Star Destroyer is not in that shot. You see every other Rebel ship getting hit with electric, but every Star Destroyer is perfectly fine. There's not even any in the sky.
It's called calculated.
It's called editing that was terrible.
Yeah.
That
But you can't think of it.
It's
as
called
that.
"We
You
got
gotta
him
think of
this
it
far.
as-
Let's just blow
It's
our
real.
wad and go home."
You're not wrong, but
So the Emperor is meaning to do that.
I think it'd be
he's not trying
scary.
to hit his own shit.
I
can
think
understand
it'd be
that.
scarier if he's hitting his own people.
But-
At that point, you'd be like, okay, he's obviously crazy.
Yeah, he gives no fuck.
I would have been okay if he had shocked the ships. I would have been okay if he didn't shock the ships. But just keep them in frame. Like,
Yeah,
they weren't
yeah, I
even
agree.
there.
Yeah.
It's like,
And
you
that's
know,
what
you
I
know how
mentioned
armadas
earlier.
are. Here 1 minute, gone the next.
yeah.
But you
Star
know,
Wars,
your
yeah.
your hoodie reminds me of something else. They made such a big deal out of the Sith troopers, and we got really nothing. And,
Yeah, there was no close-ups of them at all.
like what
They're
made them
walking
so
on the
special?
bridge and shit.
Were they
That's it.
force trained? Why were they Sith troopers? Tell me, why are they different? We got nothing.
Another
They always
thing
do
that
that to the background ones, like the, in my opinion.
they're just made to look cool.
Yeah, they look badass, and that's it.
I think it's just
Yeah.
beeping because. Is timer still going? Okay.
The only,
Yeah.
the one thing another thing I wasn't a big fan of, which was kind of weird, was the whole when Rey put her lightsaber behind her neck, and then all of a sudden Kylo has it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well, Kylo's done that before, where he's been able to grab stuff from Rey
Right.
because they have that connection, which I thought was super weird too, because I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Where he can literally or be able to go through to like space dimensions to grab things.
Yeah.
I have an
You
official
think he'd
fight.
try
It's their
to
connection.
Yeah.
you think he'd try to use that connection to show up and
Poof,
beat
here
it
I
up.
am.
I've got an official name for that force power. It's called plot armor, because that was the only way Kylo could do that.
Well, my favorite part about that
That's when he
was
fought the
he's getting
Knights,
his ass
right?
kicked
Yeah.
by all these Knights of Ren, And then he just whoops her ass with a lightsaber. That's all it took.
Now, to be fair,
He's the leader of
To
them.
be fair, he
but
was the supreme leader.
yeah.
also to be fair,
So a lightsaber is the only thing that separates him.
he didn't have a weapon. They had weapons, and they were all coming at him.
He still
was
has
like,
his force.
You're not wrong.
Which, yeah, they're
But and they
trained
could have
in.
used. He could have blocked taken one of their weapons.
Yeah.
Because you know he can.
Oh yeah.
Well, his first mistake was he threw his lightsaber away in pure just stupidity.
He was cutting
Yeah.
his ties to the dark side.
Come on, it was a cool
Th-
lightsaber.
I was actually
He
listening
could
to
have
something
changed,
on the way
the
here.
crystal in it.
It
Force
watch, it would
be
became
like
purple,
that.
I
just like
actually,
Mace Windu.
I was actually reading something on the way in here, listening to something, and you can actually. There's been something in there where they've been able to turn a red crystal into another color.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you have to heal it.
Purifying it.
That's what.
That's
So
how
that's
Ahsoka's
something-
lightsaber was
Ahsoka,
white.
yeah, that's
Right.
what she did.
And that's something he could have done, and that would to me that would have been way more Kylo.
How badass would have been if he did end up doing that and coming back with like a green, blue,
Right.
or-
He shows up with white lightsaber. That would have been
Right.
awesome.
Saying,
Shows up
you know,
with
I
purple.
have fallen, I have
There you go.
mistakes, but this is my new symbol. This
Now-
is my new arm.
Why at the end of the movie did Rey feel the need to bury the lightsabers at Uncle Owen's old place? If you're going back to Skywalker roots, because Uncle Owen was not Luke's uncle by blood, would it make more sense to take him back to Naboo?
But wasn't Aunt Beru?
So the next movie is
Related
going to
blood.
be
No.
Jawas.
Because
Neither one of them were related by
No.
blood.
Do you remember Attack of the Clones? I had to go back and watch this because I said
Oh,
that movie's
yeah.
forgettable. It's Anakin's mom married
Yeah.
their dad.
Uncle.
So it's like Anakin's
Right.
He got
stepbrother.
her.
Gotcha.
I will say there was one good thing that came out of the Attack of the Clones. It's called Star Wars Republic Commando. The game's awesome.
That was a fun game.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
really
good
enjoyed that
game.
one.
That and Star Wars Dark Forces. We need more Star Wars first-person shooters that aren't Battlefront EA.
I like how
Yes.
Leia, it was revealed, did have Jedi training, and you got to see her practice with the lightsaber. That was pretty cool. It makes a little more sense when you watch the Mary Poppins scene from Last Jedi, although we still need an edit. We still need an edit of her flying back with Yondu. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
All right, I got to complain with that though. Even though she was force trained and did some training stuff, why at the very end did her body disappear after Kylo died?
She became a Force Ghost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but she didn't have training. in
Right.
that.
I think...
It took years to master that.
You know what? I can accept it.
why did
happening to
Kylo's
Leia.
body disappear?
I think.
Right.
He's just instantly redeemed. Because I'm like,
Right.
Vader,
No,
Vader
that's
at
fine.
the end of Return of the Jedi, everyone's
Vader
like...
had the connection to Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon.
Everyone's like, did Vader disappear? I'm like, I don't know. His body might have disappeared inside the armor.
Yeah.
Or as Robot Chicken did, as he's laying on the pyre, and he's like, he wakes up, he's like, oh man, I'm really hurt. Then the fire comes up, he's like, oh no, not again!
That's funny. But I can accept Leia disappearing and becoming a Force Ghost because she did at least have some training. Maybe that was something Luke passed on to her. But Kylo Ren
But she
becoming
lay
a
there
Force Ghost?
dead for like a day or so.
Right,
She was
so
dead for
like,
a moment.
And then her body just goes poof.
But why did it poof?
Yeah.
well,
that was one thing
I
that I
know.
questioned.
Didn't she reach out? Didn't she reach out to Kylo?
Yeah.
Right.
somehow,
Like
she
Luke-
did, but Han was a Force Ghost or whatever was going on in that scene.
Actually, I think I was all in
That was.
Kylo's head.
well, you know,
because he
you know
wasn't
what
a
it
Force
was.
Ghost.
You know what it was is
Because he
they
said
couldn't
this
have
is just
Carrie
a memory.
Fisher. So Harrison Ford's like, all right,
I'll
this
be
is
Carrie."
the last time. This is the last time you guys get me.
I just I think it's like she reached out to Kylo like Luke was doing, and it was too much for her.
Yeah.
I think she was already in a weakened state, and that's why she disappeared.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of. I
Let's
mean,
go
there was
Force
no
Ghost
good
till
way to
special
film that.
training.
But I don't think the person has the ability to do the Force Ghost. Is it the person that does it, or
Not everyone
or
was
is it
able
just
to.
happen?
It started with Qui-Gon,
It started with Qui-Gon. He passed that training on to Obi-Wan and
who
Yoda.
perfected it.
He passed it on to Yoda. Yoda passed it on to Obi-Wan.
Very true. Very true.
Right, and they perfected it. And then
So
passed it
I don't
on.
know if Leia
That's right.
that was some of the training Leia got. I have no idea because it might be in the director's cut where it's explained more about her training. I have no idea because they said they edited like almost an
Wouldn't
hour of that movie.
Wouldn't it
out.
be great if the DVD coming out would have the extended cut on it.
Oh,
Wasn't that a rumor we heard?
Yep.
They were going to do that in theaters.
Yeah,
weren't
they were gonna. Supposedly, I heard they were gonna drop it in theaters, but I haven't heard any confirmation date yet.
Yeah, that was just one thing
I
that
would
kind of
too.
irked me because I was like, okay, that doesn't make sense because she's not a full-fledged. She never finished her training. She stopped. Why would she go Force Ghost?
I have to.
It just
believe,
doesn't make sense.
I have to believe it's something Luke would have trained her on. Because if Luke, that's how.
How did
Luke kinda
Vader
learned a
do
lot
it?
of
He
his
never
stuff.
had the training to begin with.
Vader's would have been the redemption from Obi-Wan.
Right, but he never
Still
had the
needed
training,
training.
the
Yeah.
Force Ghost training that Qui-Gon had passed on.
He would have still needed that.
So maybe the Force is just...
Sith this.
Maybe the
strong.
Force is like,
Force is strong with this.
Yeah.
maybe, I have no
Some
idea.
consider unnatural.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So, I mean, now that the Skywalker saga is over, what if you had to sum it all up? How would you? Yeah, like that.
Yeah, I don't. I like the trilogy. Like everyone said, I feel if they stuck with the same director, same writers, it would have been a lot better. But I don't really see where they can go from here.
Well, I mean, they'd have to do a whole different. They may not
Yeah.
even. There's a whole timeline. You don't have to stick with just this. You can go back 1,000 years in this timeline.
Oh,
yeah. I mean,
well, there
this-
was rumors
there's all
that
kinds
Benioff and Weiss
Uh-huh.
from Game of Thrones were going to go and do Knights of the Old Republic. But then they backed out for some reason.
What?
Creative differences, I'm
I
sure.
think. I think.
Wait,
What?
whoa.
What?
So they were going to do Knights of the Old Republic, what, show or movie?
Movies. Trilogies.
Okay, so they're going to do that.
They were going to.
Then they're no longer doing that.
Right.
And we got this.
It's okay, man. It's okay.
What do you mean?
We got these movies instead of that.
No.
No,
This is
this is like a separate thing.
recent. This
Okay.
isn't at the acquisition of
Okay.
Lucasfilm.
But they still said no.
No, they were on it.
They
Then-
just didn't do it.
I think creative differences with Disney, and they backed out.
What creative differences? We want to make this good and make Star Wars fans like this, and Disney's like, no, we need to have more
That's what I
princess
like about-
kissing.
That's what I like about the Marvel franchise. I think Disney's leaving them alone, letting them do their
Yeah.
own thing.
Yeah.
Well,
JJ was a fan of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson was a fan of Star Wars. Leave them the hell alone. Let them do their thing.
You just
People
have,
will be
just have
happy.
an overall person that watches the whole thing going, here's where we're starting and here's where the ending's going to be.
Well-
I read a thing where the original director for Rise of Skywalker, because I guess Kathleen Kennedy
Colin
said...
Trevorrow.
Right, I guess Kathleen Kennedy said, oh, we were always going to have Palpatine in it. And the original director's like, really? This is news to me. I never heard about it. He'd like put his original script online.
Yeah, yeah,
Palpatine's not in there once.
I heard the script that he wrote was pretty good.
Oh yeah. It would.
Why wasn't that good shot?
I didn't see it.
I don't know.
So
I don't wanna
here's
ruin it.
here
I don't want to read it and then ruin it for me.
here's my thing.
Then I'll turn into one of those
So,
fucking toxic fans.
I will caveat a lot of this, which producers don't know squat when it comes to fandoms. Years ago, Tim Burton directed a very excellent follow-up to his 1989 Batman movie, Batman Returns.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great movie, we all liked it, but a bunch of parents ran and complained and was like, oh, well,
It was too dark.
Too dark, it's
Is
too
what-
dark.
That was a very
Did they ever
it
read
was
the
too dark.
comics around that time?
Exactly. And then what happened, here's what
We
happened.
got Batman Forever.
Warner Brothers fired him, and they got Joel Schumacher. We got Batman Forever.
The Neon
then-
King, the Black
And
Man.
then we got nipples on the bat suit.
You're not wrong.
Now, here's the thing. Joel
And
Schumacher.
on Mr. Freeze's costume.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
Really?
Joel
There were
Schumacher.
nipples
Yeah,
on that dude?
go back and
I
look.
didn't
There
notice
are.
that.
I'm like,
Joel
oh my
Schumacher.
god.
If you watch his Batman movies, they're horrible. But there are movies that Joel Schumacher has done, and get ready for this, that are actually really good.
Yeah, the Lost Boys.
Lost Boys.
Phone Booth.
Flatliners.
A Time to Kill.
Flatliners is freaking excellent. Flatliners and Falling Down. That too. Those two alone redeem him.
To be fair, I'm not a critic
Uh-huh.
of any kind. I enjoyed the Schumacher versions.
Uh,
I mean, I definitely liked the Dark Batman better,
yeah.
but they went towards like the camp
As a
the
Riddler
66
fan,
Batman?
they did not do Riddler justice.
No, they did not.
No.
See, I didn't know at that time.
Well, the worst
or Two-Face. I didn't know anything about those. I
The
knew what I
thing-
knew from the movies.
Well, Two-Face has always been a hard thing for the studios to do. Because
Just a reminder, this is a Star Wars.
Yeah.
video.
Yeah.
because
It
he
didn't
wasn't
change.
incorporated in the original TV show because people thought he was too the studios thought he was too horrific. But back to Star Wars.
Okay, well, as divisive as Rise of Skywalker is, here's something that isn't divisive. The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I was just going to say, this is kind of where I think their direction is going to be, since they're done with the trilogies, they're going to be focused more on standalone
Ryan
shows.
Johnson got his own trilogy. That he made a deal to get his own trilogy.
In like 2022.
Right.
You're
So,
right.
I mean, we're gonna.
So
I don't
Ryan
know.
Johnson doing a trilogy, writing it all himself.
Yeah.
It's going to
2022.
be good.
Yeah, and I don't know if it takes place within the same timeline or if he goes further back in time, further in the future.
Yeah.
Do you have a whole history to play with? Okay, the Skywalker stuff is done.
I mean, you
And
got so
let's-
much shit to
let's
pull
go
from.
elsewhere.
But for the next
Ask him.
decade or
Oh,
so,
yeah.
we're going to be looking at a lot of like Mandalorian. There's been Obi-Wan
Kenobi.
standalones.
There's the guy from Rogue One. They're going to do a show.
Oh
about
yeah,
him.
Cassian Andor
Yeah.
series. Yeah. They start filming that here soon.
Yep. So we got a lot of that stuff
More
to look forward
more
to.
K2SO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to him. I like
But yeah,
so.
okay. So talking about the Mandalorian, I take it we all have seen.
I haven't.
Season 1.
All right.
Well, get ready for spoilers.
Oh, great.
Who
What year
all
is-
does not want to walk around in a Mandalorian suit of battle armor?
Yeah. Okay. So
Right.
here's a question.
With a baby Yoda.
I got two.
Sarah's obsessed with it.
I can't wait until they start getting
Now,
all the merchandise.
But let's talk about this.
I just want everybody to know. He said he is so glad Baby Yoda got punched.
That was the funniest goddamn thing. They
They had
All right.
the guy that was in
So,
the trooper suit on
That
like
is
Jimmy
Kane.
Kimmel or something.
Does not represent the
Right.
group.
talking about punching him, and somebody offset was like, "Look, you need to not punch that thing so hard. It costs a lot of money."
Yeah, I bet it did.
But
Oh man.
okay, let's talk about Baby Yoda for a second.
Oh.
There's
I was
a
blown away at
there-
the first episode when they showed him at the end. I'm like, "What the fuck?"
well, there's a big debate. Is he? People are like, you can't call him Baby Yoda. I defy anyone so far to prove to me he's not a clone of Yoda.
Well, me and my friend Jason Gaylord, you're welcome, Jason.
He was
Have-
supposed to be here.
Yeah, he was supposed to be here, but we came up with a name for him. He's a Yodian. That's his species.
I like Chris's name for it.
Don't get me wrong. Actually, I like the Yoda.
No, listen to this.
I just call him Bob.
What species is he, Bob?
Bob.
Was
Yeah,
But
because
yeah,
we
whenever
saw
we
a
do
couple
something-
of them in like the council chambers.
Well,
when-
we only saw Yoda and Yaddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yoda, Yaddle, and
There were no like you saw like the little group of ETs.
Yeah, that was
little
it.
group of Chewies.
The female of Yoda's species that's on.
She's
in
on
the
the-
first movie. I don't remember seeing her in the second.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
on the
and
I
they were
think
an
she
unnamed
died
species.
in the comics, like when Anakin was like maybe
Well,
about 12.
There was one more, and he was he turned Sith.
I never
I
saw that.
don't know.
Now we,
Yeah,
we
there
did
was
talk
there
about that
was a
book.
Sith one.
I'll let you bring that up.
But there was a spot in the Force, or not the Force Awakens. I'm sorry, the Phantom Menace. There's a creature that kind of looks like the Yoda, but his ears are almost pointed and go down the other way. And he's
Oh.
standing on the stage with Amidala. Is he a Yodian?
No, he's not one of them.
Yodian Bob.
He
Did
was
he
in
ever-
he was in an episode of Clone Wars that I just watched.
he's a cross.
recently.
He's the offspring of.
He's what happens when you
Yoda
get a
and
human and a
Cy
Yoda
Snoodles.
character.
Yoda and Cy Snoodles. That's their kid right there.
I would have said Yoda.
Did he
in
ever get
Gremlins,
his
but-
chicken nuggets and chalky milk?
Hey,
Look, you
leave
know,
alone
let's,
the chalky milk.
but Chris, what was that book?
I do believe, don't quote me, but I want to say that is Lost Jedi Dooku, where Dooku actually convinces Yoda to open up to the dark side.
Oh yeah,
For like
Yeah.
for like a split second.
And
they were doing like lightsaber
Because
training.
Yoda's
no,
like,
this
no.
is when he's our. This
They,
is when
they
Dooku's
just met.
dark.
Yeah, this is after Dooku went dark, and Yoda, because Yoda's like
Is that
pure.
canon?
Yeah, that is canon.
He's like pure light side force.
well, that is a movie.
So yeah,
Oh,
Dooku
yeah.
said, "Well, what if you opened up to the possibility of the dark side?" So Yoda allowed the dark side in, and it scared Dooku.
There's a lot of
He's sitting there like, what have I unleashed?
Like
There's a
that
lot
was
of white
almost
girls.
a quote. What have I unleashed?
Yeah.
This
There's
was
a lot
a
of white girls
terrible
on the dark
idea.
side.
And that was also what
I mean,
told
he's
Yoda
powerful
that
to begin with.
he
Oh,
would
yeah.
never do that again.
Yeah, Yoda would never do that again.
I'd pay to see that.
But
Oh,
what if
yeah,
it's
I
like
would too.
crack? When he like brings it in, he's like, "Oh fuck, I gotta get it out." And
Welcome
then
to
when
the
he's
dark
alone,
side.
he's like, "Nobody's gonna know."
Yeah, just-
Yeah, we have cookies.
You know, honestly though, I'd probably have to say the dark side probably is like crack. Like it has to be addicting.
The power.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
yeah.
imagine all that flowing into you. That energy,
sit on
that
the
power.
throne of skulls of your own enemies. Oh.
Your own enemies.
You know, I wanted to bring this up during Rise of Skywalker. It just made me think of it. That scene where Rey's hearing all the Jedi of the past talking to her. I was laughing in the theater because I'm like, I know they won't do this, but if they did, there'd be a riot. If you're hearing everyone, you know, use the Force and you bring balance to the Force like I did, and you know,
Like,
use
no.
the Force, motherfucker, right? So, well, I'm like, no, that's not the joke. I'm like,
No.
what if during all those voices you hear, what's a Misa doing here? Is Misa a Jedi? I'm like, the fans will rush that screen and tear it down.
No, they should have had some kind of thing in there with a Palpatine and just hearing Jar Jar's voice behind him.
You'll get to it. I was
Like,
supposed
the
to be
scene
on
where he's like, "I've been every voice you've ever heard inside your head," and Jar Jar was one of them.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it'd be near riots.
In realistic, Jar Jar never existed at all. It was just Palpatine projecting the entire time.
Oh wow. He just used it
Let's
to
annoy
torture.
these people.
He is the ultimate villain.
Hell yeah.
I want that theory to be true, man.
Oh no.
I love that theory.
All right, so back to Baby Yoda.
Okay, back to Baby. I think it could be a clone of Yoda. I
It has
think
to be.
they had the ability, when Yoda was on the council, they had the ability to get his DNA from like anything he ate, sitting on the chair, anything like that.
When
they could
does
just got
Mandalorian take place?
5 years after Return of the
So-
Jedi.
50 years earlier.
Yeah, I mean, it was possible.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's before the fall of the Republic.
considering Baby Yoda got captured or was hunted down by former Imperials, and the Imperial forces are so heavy on getting it, I wouldn't be shocked if they might have found like Yoda's homeworld or something like that.
I don't know. That's such a guarded secret. I mean, Lucas
Yeah.
won't even say where.
Yeah,
it is.
Lucas won't even say what kind
Right.
of species he is. That's why he's a Yoda.
But yet they found the ancient Sith homeworld.
Yeah, after an Indiana Jones adventure.
Yeah,
They found what?
the ancient Sith homeworld.
Yeah,
Oh,
Korriban.
yeah.
Well,
It's
yeah,
Korriban.
It's
not the-
Exegol.
It's Korriban.
yeah, I know. But
It's hell.
Yeah. But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if somewhere along the way they were able to. But even then, like, they had to come into contact to even get the tracker to function to work all the way across the galaxy, no matter where that baby's at. So they had to have some form of contact or some way to hunt down that child.
I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
didn't
have
think
to.
of that.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm almost certain he is a clone. If you watch the scene where they're giving the instructions to the Mando, I can't think of his name. There's one guy that if you look at him, he actually has a Kaminoan patch on
Yeah.
his uniform, which they're the cloners. Say Yoda has got to be a clone, or sorry, Baby Yoda or Bob.
I
Has
just
to be a
want to
clone.
be named Bob.
Like that's the only reason I can think of that somebody would be going to.
It's
that
amazing
length.
that somebody caught that.
Oh,
that
I know.
patch.
Oh, I know. I didn't catch it.
I didn't
had to
catch
have
it.
it
I
pointed
just
out.
But didn't
rewatched
the
it the other
Empire
day, and I
destroy
tried
all
to
the
look
cloning
for it. It was hard
facilities
to
after
see.
that?
Nope. What was
Huh?
that?
Didn't the Empire destroy all the cloning facilities?
No.
Hey, they thought they destroyed all the Jedi,
Because
but they were
he
wrong.
didn't want another army to ever be made that quickly again that could easily usurp his power.
But the thing about
But he was
Palpatine,
using cloning.
Yeah,
technology.
that was so he could come into power so quickly.
the Palpatine.
No, I mean
would
like
never,
to make all those Snokes. He had a whole.
Oh yeah,
He had a whole
had a
test
secret
tube of
lab,
Snokes.
Yeah,
I'm so happy I was right. So happy. But
I
Yeah.
mean, it could have been. He could have been selling Snoke on a rope. I don't know.
wow.
Let him talk.
But oh shoot, what was I saying? We'll come back. to
Cloning.
it. Cloning. Oh, Palpatine would never completely destroy any technology. No matter what it is, he wants that power. He has to have that next edge to be above any competition that's going to come his way.
'Cause
he
he's
may. may have destroyed all the Kaminoan but he had his own. He had whatever he needed. That
Because
is,
he's addicted to being a heel.
yep.
Well, okay. So at the end of the first season of Mandalorian, we see the Darksaber.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted Palpatine to have that in Rise of Skywalker.
No.
Nah, I would have preferred to have
That's
his
a
gold
Mandalorian
lightsaber.
thing.
Yeah, it is a Mandalorian thing.
So-
But how did the main villain of the first season get it? Like, we don't know how he got it. Will Mando get it? What'll happen?
According to, I think, the Clone Wars cartoon, there's a siege on Mandalore,
Mhm.
and that's how the Empire or whatever got it.
Just
Well,
like
yeah, but
all
in
the,
Rebels,
the
in
steel.
Rebels they get it back. The Mandalorians get it back in Rebels.
Oh, I haven't seen Rebels, so that's
Does
the only-
Rebels take place after Mandalorian?
Yeah, no, it
No,
takes place before
before.
Mandalorian, but
I'm
after
so
Clone
fucking
Wars.
confused.
Rebels takes place during, like before New Hope.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
there's got to
like,
be more than one dark saber.
No,
No.
there's
only
just
one.
one. The Darksaber.
Oh, really?
The Darksaber. I don't know
Is
much
there more than
about
one
it.
purple saber?
I watched a video on it, and they were talking about the timeline of the Darksaber. So they don't know how this guy got it from the Mandalorians.
It's gonna be nice.
I don't know, but his ship was cool.
Yes.
Never see a
the
TIE
bad
fighter's
guy- it was
wings.
Gus from Breaking Bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gustavo Frank?
Yeah.
Yes.
Never
He's
seen
also-
a TIE fighter wings fold up like that.
He,
Oh,
I
that
think
was
he's,
so
he's,
cool.
he's also in The Boys
Loved it.
now, too.
Well, he's
'Cause
in the
that's-
Mandalorian.
Well, I mean, he's going to be a villain for the rest of his life now.
Oh,
His name's
Hey.
Giorgio
What
Espacio.
was his name in the show?
Gus.
Gus
No,
Frank.
and
Oh,
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian? I can't remember.
Who are we talking about?
was it
The guy who
with
wielded the
Darksaber?
Darksaber.
Moff Gideon.
There you go.
Yeah.
Moff
I knew it was Moff something.
What?
I knew it was Moff something.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Gideon.
there's just too many perverted jokes there with Muff Gideon.
And,
Moff.
and we're done.
Oh.
I don't care. I don't
He
care.
heard what he wanted to hear.
He could have
That's
been
it.
called Mofo Gideon.
It's still
It is
funny.
now.
Well,
All right.
You know, I think one other thing I wanted to say about Rise of Skywalker that I forgot and I just thought of, the most pointless cameo and bit of fan service in that film, the Wicket cameo. No purpose, achieved nothing. We just have to be reminded that the Ewoks existed.
It
Yes.
achieved applause.
And he had like I think that was
Everybody
supposed
was
to be
like,
like, No, she was. I was just like,
I was too.
Honestly, don't even
I was
remember
just
it.
like, I was so wore out by that third
Yeah, I
act.
don't
I'm just
remember
like, oh look, it's Wicket.
I was fine with it.
I'm
I
like-
it was awesome.
I'm like, he didn't even get
Did
to
he
find
blink?
anything. No,
Wait, do Ewoks not have eyelids?
no, the costumes didn't.
Oh. I didn't know that.
Now, before I forget, I was supposed to do a paid advertisement from our sponsor. So, I bring to you, by our sponsor, Funko, the #1 breakfast cereal that is out there right now. You know how everyone's trying to eat a light breakfast? You ever get tired of light breakfasts? You want something a little darker? I bring you Vader Crunch, the Sith Lord cereal. Here, hold the box for me. Vader Crunch.
it's just Cheerios with Darth Vader on it.
Give me that back.
You don't deserve the power.
And speaking of power, this is part of a balanced breakfast. I mean, come on. You got 99 grams of midichlorians. That's 200% of your daily midichlorian intake. Tastes great in bantha milk. And that green shit that Luke was drinking. I mean, you got vitamin R2D2 and C3PO in
It's not
this.
R2 deep throat.
You know,
No.
you know, St. Adam, is there any good light side or dark side nutrition in that?
Oh my gosh. Well, you get 77 grams of Jedi energy. It's 75% peace, 25% knowledge.
Oh, look, there's 99% of hope. That's great.
Yeah, well, you get 76 grams of Sith energy in here. That's 25% passion, 75% strength.
The Sith Lord.
The Sith Lord cereal. I mean, this is the #1 breakfast cereal among 7-foot-tall asthmatic Sith Lords. I mean, you can't do much better than this. Stays crunchy. It even has like a lava flavor for those of you that come from Mustafar.
That's cinnamon if you don't know.
And a burnt meat flavor.
What?
Tastes like bacon.
I think there is kind of a Padme flavor out there, but that's a little on the dark side of the market.
Oh.
Now in every box.
So I guess Padme has a fleshlight now.
Not anymore. She did.
Well, there you go.
But
Real life fleshlight.
And every box is guaranteed to come with a free shard of Alderaan. Don't worry, they're not going to run out. There's plenty to go around. But this is brought to us by the Empire itself. Not the Funko Pop people, but Funko Palpatine people. Not so. Look
Even
for
though the
this.
box does say Funko on it.
So look for Vader Crunch, mostly at Walmart, where you go to get your evil Empire needs.
Thank you, Walmart.
They are also the makers of the #1 import breakfast cereal from Kashyyyk. Now made with 30% more Wookiee. So,
Oh, I do like
Vader
that one.
Crunch. Find it now.
All right.
So,
That was the cheesiest commercial ever.
Oh, you gotta see your face when you make that noise. That was fucking perfect.
stop shaking the box. You're going to piss them off.
Did you eat the cereal?
Look, I like a light breakfast.
Yeah, dark stuff's not for him.
Fabric.
Nobody say anything after that comment. I'm being told by my producer you're not allowed to talk anymore.
So you don't when you visit the hub, you don't type in the word ebony in the engine, do you?
We're not going to talk about
My
Pornhub.
gosh, Star Wars, not porn.
Well, I mean, I know when I go to the hub and I'm thinking Star Wars, I type in Twi'lek.
Or
That is one race that not a single form of media, like the novels, like the games, or even the movies, can pronounce the same.
Really?
Yeah, it's called Twi'leks, and Twi'leks. It's Twi'lek in the Darth Maul book I'm reading right now.
Oh.
Yeah, it bothers me.
I
always
didn't
thought it was
realize.
Twi'lek. Yeah.
I didn't realize till just recently that female Twi'leks don't have ears. Not
right.
ears like this. They're more like these little domes. Like I thought that was part of the headdress, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's what they used to hear with.
I never noticed that. I really wish you hadn't just told me that, because now I'm not going to unsee it.
now I'm thinking about that.
Don't talk about what you're thinking about.
I hope they serve beer now. Very fast.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that bit of awkwardness.
Can we talk about an IG unit move, not in a cartoon?
Yeah.
Fucking unbelievable, man.
And
Oh,
to
yeah.
turn him into a nanny.
But that was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, because he was still
Queel.
programmed
I know.
to
Protect.
Protect,
She
thank
was
you.
programmed to love.
when he walked up to those stormtroopers
And just
and
decimate.
and just slammed them into the fucking
Oh,
scout
man.
bike.
Yeah.
Oh, you see the bike start to bend. Oh, that was so freaking awesome.
Well, with the Mandalorian,
He was my favorite part in the entire series.
really.
I was so
I was
pissed
just
when
watching everything.
He
taken
died in
all
the very
in.
first one. I was like, what? Spoiler alert. I was like, what the fuck, man? Hope they bring him back. And they brought him back. I was loving it.
He was still badass.
Yeah. Hopefully he won't come back. But it'd be nice.
One last thing,
Yeah.
and I have to say this to kind of redeem myself from last time.
Uh-huh.
The Mando is the best thing to happen in the Star Wars universe with anything that has been on video. It is better than all the movies. It hands down the best thing to happen.
You know why? Because they've had time to develop characters.
Yep.
They didn't just explain them and
they
move
got
on.
And they got Favreau and Filoni to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
best thing.
Favreau is the one who started the MCU.
Mhm.
Why not get him? And Filoni, I mean, he made the Clone Wars and Rebels
So this is like basically a felonious assault.
in a good way.
Are you doing the Wookiee sound now?
All right.
So now, Mandalorian being so good, what can we expect for Obi-Wan?
Only good things if they do it right.
Well,
Yeah.
one of the directors from The Mandalorian, Deborah Chow, is actually, she's going to be the director of the Mandalorian season, or I'm sorry, of the Kenobi series.
Nice.
I'm
Yeah.
really looking forward to it.
She did a couple episodes, and I know she did the finale.
Okay.
So,
Well,
I'm in.
then it's only going to be
And
good.
Ewan McGregor's coming back?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm in. Shut up and take my money.
And
Yep.
now I have to wonder, will Darth Maul be in this? We proved he's alive in Solo.
Yes.
Like,
How many people
I
do you
hope-
think saw Solo and never knew jack shit about the Clone Wars, and then saw Darth Maul and he's like, didn't he die? Like 20 years earlier?
You know what's funny is when he came on, like you see the hologram, like, and then I forgot to check to see if he had metal legs. So I
He did.
had to wait till it came out on Netflix. I'm like, metal legs.
Yeah, he
You know,
did.
I didn't even look at that.
And the lightsaber was different too.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, it's got like some kind of curve on it on one
Oh.
side. So some buddy of mine told me it was something to do with the I don't know. I forgot what they call them.
Cheese graters.
What was he part of?
Oh, the Crimson Dawn,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the
Dathomirian Brotherhood,
no,
the
I've just-
Sith.
no, I just
I'm running out of things.
I'll figure it out.
the Brotherhood of characters that had their voices dubbed by other actors.
No. Go ahead, continue.
Well,
I don't know.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
No,
I was just-
by
I was
all
gonna-
means.
Fight.
What is everyone's opinion on Rey's lightsaber?
Why is it yellow? Because I know what yellow means. Is she going to become a Sentinel?
I can see it. She
But-
doesn't walk either line.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they do undercover missions or they guard the Jedi Temple. They need another Jedi Temple.
I think they just threw it in to be different.
Yeah, I just watched a video
I
about
think
that.
because everyone's like, okay, we don't have a yellow lightsaber yet.
Syndicates.
That temple.
Syndicates.
carries
Okay.
With her every now and then.
Did any?
It's not her fleshlight, Chris.
Well,
Oh,
considering that how the crystal gets its color is how it bonds with the user. I mean,
Well, I just watched a video today. I mean, it's funny you bring this up. That they wanted to give Ahsoka a new lightsaber, a second one, and they wanted it to be yellow. And George Lucas nicked it. He's like, no, it can't be yellow.
yeah, gave them a
Because-
green with yellow tint.
Yeah, it's exactly, and it's shorter too.
Mhm.
But it was said that she doesn't deserve it, or she's not allowed to have it.
Because she walked away?
No,
she's
this was
not
before she walked
Sentinel.
away.
Oh.
Because it was reserved for the temple guards or something.
Yep,
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I
very
mean,
elite things.
Let-
you rarely
let-
see
there's
it
no
because
there's no temple guards anymore. There's nothing anymore.
Right,
Why
and-
can't she have yellow?
you rarely got
I
to
do
see
like
yellow
I like how she
anyways.
turned it on.
Oh yeah.
I
It's
know.
just like flicking it to the side.
The fact-
instead of,
Oh, sorry,
yeah,
go
no,
ahead.
I was just instead of the button, just
The fact that it was the end of her staff is what I really love.
Was it? I thought it looked familiar.
That little ring on it. If you flip her lightsaber upside down, it's the end of it because that ring is closer to the handle where she holds it. Yeah, she just like cut
so
it off.
she took part of her hill.
Yeah.
Well, I think you
That's part
actually
of the hill.
see her working on part of it earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
On that jungle planet.
Yep.
I may have missed
Really?
that.
I read somewhere because I missed it too, and someone's like, you can see her starting to build it
Huh.
because she considered.
Is that when she was floating with all the rocks around?
Yeah, it was that planet, but not that scene. It was
Oh,
like
okay.
later on because she considered the lightsaber she was using. She's like, "That's your brother's lightsaber," which no, that's Vader's lightsaber. That's Anakin's lightsaber.
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened to Luke's green one? Is it still out there? Could another character find
But
it?
what happened? I mean, at the end, he took it with him, right?
No.
He should still have it.
Well, I think it's still on that planet that he went to, but
The Ewok planet, Endor.
no, the one where
Oh,
Luke.
Octu?
The porgs.
Yeah, with the porgs and all that.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, Octu, I think it was called. And I think it's still there with his belongings. So that means if anyone finds it, they can find Luke's saber. Because I tell you, I hate the blue one. I always thought it was a weaker saber. I love the hilt of Luke's green lightsaber. It just looks more badass to me.
Yeah.
So
I
do
like
something with that.
I like Vader's hilt,
Mhm.
but as a lightsaber, it's not very ergonomical to hold.
It's bulky.
Well, I
Yeah.
think Vader usually used one hand, didn't he?
Yeah, he was right-handed.
Well, he also had big monster
he was
mechanical
no-handed there at
hands.
the end.
He was a right-handed fighter, okay? But yeah, I mean, with the button on it, and it's just, it's not practical.
It's very
to use,
basic.
but it's awesome.
Well, I mean, when Vader rebuilt it and he added the black to it, it made it look more badass.
Go
because-
watch the Galaxy Britain built.
Okay.
The guy's name's David Whiteley. I did an interview with him.
Mm-hmm.
he actually sits down and gets to hold the first screen-used lightsaber that they made.
Look at Chris's face.
That's so cool. Like, that is awesome.
It is.
What?
I mean, the guy talked about how he built it, and it was one of those. It was part of an old camera, which everybody knows that, I think.
I didn't.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's part of, you know, the old cameras that have the big flash on it.
Yeah.
It's the thing
Oh.
that's on the graphics,
Okay.
they call it. And he took it back. He went to a camera shop and he said, "Hey, you got a bunch of junk?" And he just dug through a bunch of crap and found that. He goes, "Oh, I'm going to try this." Took it back, put the black strips on it, put the little thing for the button on it, a couple little other things. There it is.
so
Took
cool.
it, I think he took it to George Lucas, and George was like, "Yeah, that's it."
That's so cool.
Yeah,
All right.
it's pretty neat.
Well,
The Galaxy Britain built.
Okay.
well, we're gonna have to wrap this up. Unfortunately, due to time constraints. I still have fun doing these. We should do more. I mean,
I'm in.
we can
Oh,
always
yeah.
do more. Does anyone have anything they want to plug before we go?
Baby Yoda.
Okay.
ChannelStarWars.com.
ChannelStarWars.com. Baby Yoda from her.
Chaos Springer Productions.
That's what I like to hear.
I got my own podcast that I started doing also. It's called Insert Show Title Here.
Yes.
It's just me being an idiot.
Hey, this is the best kind
Just
of
There's
griping.
nothing wrong with that.
So
Chris, you want to plug anything?
No.
Any books?
Oh, that would just.
don't have the
listen
time.
to the Bane trilogy. Listen to the old and new Thrawn trilogy. Listen to Darth Plagueis if you really want a good story about Plagueis and Palpatine. Dooku Lost for that nice Yoda just moment where he goes dark. The list goes on. You just
Captain
go-
Phasma novels okay
Oh,
too.
that was a solid one.
Yeah.
You really get a good look at Armitage Hux, which was Brendan Hux's father, which was the spy in this movie. And I'm just going to say this, reading that novel and then seeing that happen, he would have never done that. Hands down, he would have never done that. That was completely out of character and just wrong.
I'm
What, being the
surprised.
spy?
Yep.
I'm surprised.
He didn't like Kylo Ren.
Like he didn't, but really kind of listening to that book, he wanted to remove Kylo Ren to save the First Order, but he
Who would have been Supreme Leader?
He wanted to be.
He's no Supreme
Nah.
Leader. He's a whiny ginger.
I'm surprised you didn't name any of the Abeloth stories.
Oh
See,
man!
but you said!
The Fate of the Jedi. I think that's the name of the series. It's like a 9-book series. It's towards the end of the Legends. Highly recommend. They set up a lot of good moments in this movie for Abeloth, especially with Dark Rey. Like when her teeth went pointy and whatnot. Oh, it would have been perfect just to throw her in and completely fuck everything to hell. Oh, it would have been wonderful.
Kane, you want to plug anything?
I got nothing.
You got nothing. Chris?
I don't know. Watch our channel.
I was gonna say you have a channel to promote, sir. Come
Yeah,
on.
watch our channel. We just released
Disappoint
the top 20 Black History Month celebration. Top 20 comic book characters. Watch those videos. There's a little surprise in the second one.
I concur.
All of us have
All right.
Twitter, YouTube, so
Yeah, so if you like
I'm at
this,
the real OJ.
That's it. I was right.
Corkscrew Tunic.
so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let us know what you thought of Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian, Vader Crunch, anything else. Follow us on all our social media. We're talking Facebook, we're talking Twitter.
At From the Monkey.
At From the Monkey. Share this with Star Wars fans. Let's get a conversation going.
Yeah.
So from the Adam Chris Show, I'm St. Adam.
I'm Chris Malice.
We got everyone else.
Like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Thank you.